official season. I think there's some big games happening in Europe and Vegas, I know. So they're some of the national marquee matchups. So everybody that is into women's basketball probably has a little eye on the Scores Sports Center and watching. But I'm going to be watching our team. We start practice in a few minutes, and today feels a little bit different than it has in the sense that we have 48 hours really before we go, and no matter what role I have, there's always a different feel on that first official week of opening days. So we're excited. I know we're ready to play someone else, I can tell you that. I got that sense, especially the last 2 days, that it was just a little bit more clear that they don't want to see our men's practice squad anymore, and they really don't want to see each other anymore. So we're ready and excited to start really seeing where we are and how we get improved day by day and game by game.
I wanted to start with a couple of questions about injuries. Sita Folter was in here, and seems like she's getting close. Just curious where she is in terms of when you think you're going to get her back, and then Aaliyah Guyton as
right. Well, with Sydney Folter, we're so thankful that she's ahead of schedule, and that's not surprising. I don't know if I've really coached anyone as tough. Certainly, she's probably in a Megan Gustafson category, right? Kate Martin-esque. But her, she didn't really want to sit out and then when she had to, it was clear before any procedure happened that she would be back earlier, and she is. So we're going to work her in slowly. Hopefully we can get a few more reps in practice today and a few more tomorrow. And it'd be wonderful if she could see some minutes on Wednesday, because then after Wednesday, as you all know, we really start to tick up. But really happy with her progress, and just so fit and really fit in her mind too, which is great. And Aaliyah Guyton, she's working her way back. It's all about load management when you bring someone back from that type of surgery. But she's looking great, dry. It'll just be nice to have a true point guard being able to even come in drills. I got to shout out Taylor Strimlow. That kid, she just is doing everything you need her to do. She's been playing the backup 1. She really is a 3, but she'll play a backup 2. Heck, that kid would play a 5 backup if you need her to, with no questions asked. But Taylor Strimlow has done a nice job of just trying to learn all the plays as a freshman from certainly 2 different spots, but sometimes 3, and that's really difficult to do.
In terms of the on-ramp for Sydney, does that mean substantial minutes against Virginia Tech, a little slower than that?
Yeah, well, I think it depends on the game flows and really how her knee's responding. There's one thing about running in a pool and running on I don't know what you even call it, the treadmills that take the weight off, and doing the defensive slides versus running up and down, stopping, starting, diving. And we just need to see what that, how it responds to it. But I do know that, Sid is tough. As long as she feels she can handle it, she'll go. But I think it would be wise for us to load management if possible. But, you get into the thick of a game like one next weekend against Virginia Tech and moving forward, it'll be tough to slow down Sid. And then it's probably going to be tough to slow down me. So I might need Dr. Wolf and our trainer, Andrea, with that one.
So much obviously has been talked about what's new on this team, but for the pieces who have been here the last 2 years and have seen seasons play out all the way to the end and know that, the what seems cliche of, hey, this drill in early November can make a difference in March. How much easier or how important is it to have players who can communicate that as well, along with everything that's new?
Yeah, I'm really thankful for that. We do have 2 returning starters, Sid Folter and Hannah Stolke. So they can go from experience, and step up when you need it. But also, Jada Jimpy has a really good voice, and she can also, from her perspective, remind everyone. So I think that is really key, and we're going to need their confidence to see us through the drills and practice at times, which they've done a great job of, but certainly as the ebbs and flows happen with the season. What's interesting in this particular year is, we have 6 new people, 8 returners, really 7. Kenise Johnson didn't play last year and then got injured. but your point guard is new, and she's really good, but she hasn't ever done the system before. So the offense and the reads, takes a little bit more time. But she's been doing a sensational job. I can't say enough about Lucy and her coachability, and she's just a gem. I told her so many times already, man, I wish we could have had you for 4. It's going too fast, for 1. But I think that's the trickier. You got to, almost 50-50. So there's a lot resting on those that have come before to carry that, but also with the inexperience of learning everything, right? Because there's just a learning curve, and you got to kind of balance that learning curve with what you want to do right now. So I think that they've struck a really nice balance of when to speak up and demand as a peer, and when to, we got it, when to slow it down and build up when you're a freshman, or a Lucy kind of learning, oh yeah, I should have made that read, right? So I've been really, really pleased with our returning leadership.
I wanted to ask about the center position. Addie really got to start in the exhibition. You mentioned Ava Hayden had been dealing with a sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Have you settled on who you want to start on Wednesday?
And likely will be Addie, but they're so, they're battling it out in a really great way. I think any coach would tell you that's the way you want to battle it, with when someone has a nice play and the other one's standing out, they're the first to jump up and high five or fist bump or whatever. So I think it'll, our goal is just to keep them both confident and playing, freer. And I think, Addie will get the start, but I try not to. It's always cool and fun to start, but I want them to really understand that you might play even more minutes if you're coming off the bench, depending on the flow, and to try not to spend too much unnecessary energy on getting it or not getting it, especially with that position, because they both give us a really good look in a different way. Addie's got a little height. She's really pretty good timing and enforcer on defense. Ava's, really mobile. She can get down that floor, and when she puts it all together, she's, she can be a little different type of matchup. So it's neck and neck, but it's a fun neck and neck, and they're pushing each other and making each other better every day.
You guys have had a lot of good centers over the years. You talk about Megan, Monica, even Hannah last year did a pretty good job playing there. What stands out about Ava that, as a freshman, she's already competing to start and play a lot of minutes?
She just is kind of naturally has an athleticism about her. She runs. She's got really good hops. She can jump. She can get up and hit the rim, and she can face too. She's got a really nice natural jumper. It just, learning the system, getting her timing of when to kind of circle out and put herself in a position. But she's just pretty quick. She's fast, she's quick. We just are working on the timing, and then kind of releasing her greatness, if you will, and getting to be a lot more aggressive. It's interesting, but posting up, really staying at that block. I think everybody has done a nice job developing her, but the comfortability down there, we just haven't quite got the timing. But I think when she learns that, she's going to be a really tough matchup, because she can also beat you off the bounce. You just haven't seen it yet.
You talked about this a little bit after the exhibition game, but what Hannah went through last year, playing at the 5 and dealing with everything that comes with that, while also, dealing with some knee issues. Even if her role is kind of more accustomed to what she's used to this year, how do you feel that experience last year and going through that, will pay off this year?
Well, I hope that just gives her a lot of confidence, right? Because she handled a really hard thing. I think sometimes the hardest thing for high school players to come into college is to learn when you got to play when you're hurt a little bit, right? It's like all of us in this room know when you got to go to school, you got to go to work when your head hurts, or maybe your throat's a little scratchy. When you're coming in from high school, usually, there's just a lot more, nursing that happens, because you don't want to go to school with a temperature, and, usually if an ankle is even slightly tweaked, you might miss the rest of practice. We're here, tape it up, let's go, right? And so to a degree. So Hannah had to learn that, right? And kind of should I push through this? No, this is too much. I got to take that load off. And we had to kind of, watch her do that. So I think that should give her confidence that she knows how to handle and push through some things and know when to say, I got to hold. And then I think just the success she had playing against the nation's best, whether, she was out driving from the elbow area or she was posting up strong and using her quickness or rim running. So she had a lot of success against every type of post, really. Except, Cardosa from South Carolina, and no one had a whole lot of success with her. But overall, I think she should be playing really confidently. The trick is now she's playing more a perimeter. And I like what we saw the other night. And if we can continue to see that, I think we can comfortably, keep her growing in that 4 spot.